Welcome to the Unapologetic Mompreneur, the podcast for mums with an online business who are ready to take back their time, home, business and self so they can restore the balance and thrive, both at home and at work, without feeling like they have to choose between the two. I'm your host, Sarah Dew, life and biz coach for mompreneurs. I'm also a mum, stepmom, wife, introvert, breast cancer survivor, and your mentor for making a change for the better. I've learned how to go from surviving to thriving and unapologetically create a business I love and the life I want for me and my family without worrying about what other people think. And now I'm here to help you do the same. Because being an unapologetic mompreneur doesn't mean that we're selfish or that we don't care about others. It simply means that we are not afraid to show up as our true, authentic selves, to step into our purpose, do what we know is right for ourselves and the ones we love, and take the steps we need to take to make our dream life and business a reality. Join me each week where I'll be sharing all of my best tips and strategies, plus the occasional dose of tough but gentle love to help you feel empowered, motivated, and confident to take action so that you can become the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. So, are you ready to unapologetically create a business and life you love? Let's do this. Hey there, and welcome to episode 100 of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. Can you believe it? 100 episodes. Because honestly, I kind of can't. This podcast was a dream of mine for almost 4 years before I finally hit publish. And to think that we have now shared 100 episodes together, it is just incredible. I am so grateful to you for tuning in. Whether you have been here since the beginning or this is your first time, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for letting me be part of your world. Over the past 100 episodes, I have had the absolute honor of interviewing so many amazing mompreneurs, women just like you and me, navigating business and motherhood on their own terms. We've talked all things business life, home life, mum life, work-life balance, building a life we love, and doing it without worrying about what other people think. And if you've been listening for a while, you will know that there is one question that I always ask my guests. And that is, what does being an unapologetic mompreneur mean to you? And how are you showing up unapologetically every day, both as a mum and as the boss of your business? It's my favorite part of every interview because every single answer is different. And every one of them is packed with heart, honesty, and mic drop moments. So, to celebrate this huge milestone of hitting 100 episodes on the podcast, I went back through all of the guest episodes and tried, and I mean really tried, to choose my top 10 favorite answers to this question. But I couldn't just pick 10. So here we are with 11 unforgettable, inspiring, goosebump giving answers from incredible mums in business. And let me tell you, these women are dropping truth bombs and heartfelt wisdom left, right, and center. They are all so different, yet they weave together into this beautifully layered, truthfully honest picture of what it truly means to be an unapologetic mompreneur. So, without further ado, with great pleasure and great honor, and in no particular order, here are 11 powerful answers from women who are walking their talk, doing business and life unapologetically on their terms, showing us what is possible when we choose ourselves, our dreams, and our version of success. Let's dive in. First up is values aligned messaging and marketing consultant Ashley Sang, who I interviewed back in episode 59, all about how to create an impactful brand. Ashley talked about running a values aligned business, crafting a message that reflects who you really are, and why showing up with intention is the most powerful brand move you can make. Here's what she shared about being an unapologetic mompreneur means to her.
Ooh, what a question, right? I feel like that's like an existential thesis that we could all be writing. But I think at the end of the day, it is really prioritizing my kids first. But then also for me, knowing that running my business is really essential to my identity as a human outside of motherhood, as a contributor to society and the economy and just my own personal being. And so reframing it as, yes, that's time away from my kids or attention away from my kids, but it's also a really powerful example for them. It is a way I contribute to our household. It is a way that I'm able to then be more present with my kids because I feel fulfilled in other ways. So yeah, that is that balance that we're always perpetually trying to strike, and is shifting with every phase of motherhood and parenthood and child life stages as well. So yeah, it's a lot, but it is important for us to find what works for us in any given moment.
Wow. Running my business is really essential to my identity as a human outside of motherhood. I love that. Okay, next up is visibility strategist and fellow podcast host Andrea Singletary. In my interview with her for episode 72, we talked all about how to build a business that truly fits your current season of life, how to be visible outside of social media, finding collaborations that make things easier, and how to ditch the hustle in favor of ease and alignment. And when I asked her what being an unapologetic mompreneur means to her, here's what she had to say.
Being an unapologetic mompreneur means to me is doing business differently. So, like we had talked about essentially throughout this episode, where as moms, we can't do all of the things. Like it doesn't make sense for us. And so, a lot of the strategies that are thrown at us don't make sense for, our life, for, our main priorities, which is our family and everything. And so, for me, that looks like I'm going to do the things that make sense for me and my family. I'm going to do the things that I can realistically commit to. I'm going to do the things that I actually enjoy. And so, not being afraid to do that, not being afraid to do things differently from others and whatnot. So, I would say that's what it means to me.
There's so much power in owning the season we are in, owning our path, and trusting our own pace. Now, let's hear from episode 33's guest, business scaling coach Sierra Scacco. Sierra dropped some serious wisdom around productivity and staying focused on what truly moves the needle in your business. We explored the power of using key performance indicators and income producing activities, KPIs and IPAs, and how they help cut the fluff so that you can focus on the actions and metrics that align with real growth. What does unapologetic mompreneurship look like for Sierra? Here's her answer.
Yeah, to me, I feel like it means not like understanding that the two can coincide. You don't just have to be a mom, you don't just have to be a business owner. And the key to that is figuring out how it's going to work for you, right? Like it might look different. Like there are so many mompreneurs out there who are doing the thing and it's so great, but your life might not look exactly like theirs, and that's okay. So figuring out, what is going to work for me in this stage of life, in, how many kids I have to take care of, in their ages, in my other responsibilities. And so to me, it just means like showing up and doing the thing, figuring out what's going to work for you. And I think for me, that's exactly what I try to do every day. So even when it sucks and I have sick kids, or I, can't get through a podcast interview without my kids interrupting, like just still showing up and figuring out, learning to be flexible, learning to shift, learning to, you know, every day take what comes, focus on what's important, but also realizing if something doesn't get done, it's okay, and giving yourself that grace.
That right there is the juggle, the joy, and the truth of building a business while raising humans. Such an important reminder about how we need to give ourselves grace too. We are doing the best we can, and that really is enough. The next answer I want to share with you is Donna Dubes, who I interviewed for episode 69. The topic, crafting the ultimate mompreneur game plan and supercharging your business. If you're wanting to scale your business whilst maintaining that elusive mompreneur work-life balance, this episode is a must listen. In it, Donna shared her framework for proactively setting up your week to avoid burnout and overwhelm. We talked about setting clear boundaries with clients, family, and yourself, and not being afraid to be honest about what you can and cannot do. Here's Donna sharing what being an unapologetic mompreneur looks like in her world.
Yeah, I love that question. So I think for me, the unapologetic means I'm not apologizing to myself first, right? Not apologizing to myself and saying, oh, I should have, oh, I could have, oh, I didn't. Oops, right? I'm actually setting my week and my days up for me. And then I'm not apologizing to my family and friends because I've set my week up properly. And I'm not apologizing to my clients because I've been realistic on what the expectations are from the get-go, right? So if you come to me as a new client, this is how we're going to work together. This is how often we're going to meet. This is when your time to book is. If you can reach me in between this way, and this is how long it'll take me to respond. Those details may seem like, oh, it's too much at the beginning, but it actually makes it really clear for you and your client, right? Just letting those boundaries, letting them know what those boundaries are so that, that relationship is strong and there's no mismatched expectations there. So I think really just setting my week up proactively so that I don't get to the end and have to apologize to myself, to my family, or to my clients. And I think the other piece of that is just being really accountable and honest with ourselves about what we can and can't do, right? I know, like, this is another side topic, but I know recently my mom had some health issues. And so I had to step back a little bit from my business to help out. And I was happy to do that. But I had to be realistic on both sides, right? I couldn't be with my mom 24/7, and I couldn't be with my business as much as I wanted to. And so just giving ourselves grace, but being honest and truthful with ourselves about what we can handle at this time. And if Sally Sue can do 3 times as much as us, that's okay. She's got a different business. She's running a different life than we are. And there's no guilt, no shame in that.
Such a grounded, powerful reflection, highlighting the importance of not only needing to apologize to others, but that we don't need to apologize to ourselves too. I hope that one landed with you like it did for me. Next up, we have episode 37 and the incredible Emma Gray from Rainbow Hunting Moments. This episode was about one of those topics that just isn't talked about enough, and one that a lot of us, myself included, are scared to talk about and address. Managing our life admin and processing grief emotions so that we can rest easy, safe in the knowledge that we are prepared should we be faced with illness, loss, or trauma. But Emma takes away all of that fear. Her humbling story, the way she opened up about navigating grief and entrepreneurship, and how the emotional admin, or what Emma likes to call sadmin, can transform your perspective on life, legacy, and what really matters, was so raw, so real, and the kind of honesty that we need more of in this space. Here's what she had to say.
I think the most important thing is to be honest, and sometimes the hardest person to be honest with is ourselves. And I think that's where reaching for help is so amazing, because I believe we don't go to other people to give us the answers. Other people can just help us find the answers inside ourselves. When we find our own answers, that's when it really, really resonates. So wherever you find your help, whether people are coming to you and your community or whatever they're doing, even if they shared in your community thoughts about what's come up, it's that having the confidence to be honest to ourselves and to other people if we want the support about what it is that we need.
Other people just help us find the answers inside of ourselves. I love that. Thank you, Emma, for being so vulnerably honest. This episode was one of those conversations that is going to stay with me for a very long time. Okay, now let's hear from my guest from episode 83, the powerhouse that is Connie Toomey. This episode was all about how to turn your passion, experience, and even that messy middle into digital products that sell, funnels that actually work, and a business that aligns with your life, not one that drains it. Connie showed how to stop playing small, claim your voice, light the fire, and start creating and selling digital offers that only you can bring into the world. And when it came to my signature question, here's what she had to say.
Ooh, I like it. So I have truly made my family and my children the center of my business because I want to be unapologetic around what I do, how I spend my time, and how I live my life. And at this point, I have realized or come to the realization that it's not around seeking approval from anybody else around what I do. And that took me a long time to get to exactly that spot because there was the people pleasing, there was the, oh, but, validating others in. I got all these degrees and now I'm leaving them behind, so to say. No, I'm not leaving them behind. I'm following my passion. I'm being truly unapologetic around who I am, how I show up every day, what I wear, what I dress, what I say, and how I live my life. And I think it's still a point where it rubs people the wrong way once in a while. But I also realize that that's something that's within them and it's not within me because I'm living my best life over here, living in abundance, connecting with amazing people like you, Sarah, with others through summits that I'm planning. And there's nothing that I need to be ashamed of. And I simply live unapologetic every day in my business as a mom, as an entrepreneur, and nothing will change that.
I'm being truly unapologetic around who I am, how I show up every day, what I wear, what I say, and how I live my life. That's the unapologetic mompreneur spirit right there. Love it. This next answer is from one of my favorite fellow podcasters, email marketing and visibility strategist Kylie Kelly. Her interview for episode 52 was packed with strategy for growing your email list fast without social media or paid ads. But it was her take on doing business without guilt and giving yourself permission to pivot that really stuck with me. Want to know what being an unapologetic mompreneur means to her? Here's what she shared.
Gosh, I love this question. And can I say, I've listened to your podcast and so many of the answers are incredible. I was like, how can I make mine just as incredible as everybody else? Oh my goodness. And let's just see. So I think when it comes to being a parent, and this is still a work in progress, but to me, it means kind of letting go of the guilt, right? So I want to be able to show up for my kids when they need me or when I want to show up for them, right? Without always thinking like, oh, I need to be working on my business or I feel guilty it's hard. I mean, that's still the thing that I struggle with the most, missing school things because I want to do something on my business or making that and not doing something on my business and feeling bad the other way around as well. Like it goes both ways. So I think that's my biggest and it's not really something we're proud of yet, but I'm working on being unapologetic there and letting go of that guilt. And I think when it comes to the business, I'm really proud of, like you have mentioned a few times, being really transparent. And I think showing the boys, I've got 2 boys, they're 3 and 6. So showing them that, hey, you get to actually do something you enjoy for work and it gets to be fun. It gets to be whatever you want it to be. And then being really transparent with my audience as well is something that I'm really proud of. So that was a long-winded answer. I don't know if it was good as the others, but there it is.
You get to do something you enjoy for work, and it gets to be fun. It gets to be whatever you want it to be. That's one of the reasons we all start our businesses in the first place. Okay, next up, we have my Canadian biz buddy and virtual summit coach, also known as the Summit Queen, Julie C. Butler from episode 61. Julie's episode was a real love letter to messy, imperfect action. In it, she shared how to get out of our own way, create an offer, and get it out there in the same day. We talked about getting unstuck, finding your flow, and selling your offer before it's ready so that you are getting paid whilst you're creating it. And of course, I couldn't wrap up our chat without asking her my favorite question. And here's what she had to say.
That's a loaded question. But it's funny because like we talked about this recently, and I think that, it looks different for every single one of us. I love working and I can sit at my computer for 8 hours and I don't consider that work, right? And that's okay. Some coaches or entrepreneurs, they only want to work 1 or 2 hours a day and be done with it. And I have teenagers, right? So I'm done with the small kids and having to care for them all day. So I can work on my business more. And there's nothing wrong with that. And that's kind of like who I am and what I love to do, and that's okay. So, but I get to decide, I get to choose. Today, I want to go shopping, so I'm not working, right? Or, or I'm going to spend like 10 hours at my computer today because I'm working on this program and this sales page is taking like so long to create, right? Because sales pages do. But so I think it's like giving you the option, the choice to decide how many hours, how little or how many hours you want to work on your business or take on clients, or like really truly decide how you want to run your business around your life and your family life. So, and always tapping into the why, the reason why you're doing this, like whatever that looks like for you, and dig deep, like why, like, because at the core, that's what keeps you going. And, we all have challenges, we all fall down, and that's what keeps us like that. It helps us get back up, because there's times where it's like, oh my God, like I just want to give this up, like quit this business already, get a job, right? But it's what keeps going and keeps us not giving up. So yeah.
Every word of that felt like permission to do it your way. After all, it's your business and you get to call the shots. So powerful. The next answer I want to share with you is from my in real life fellow biz owner and friend, rapid transformational therapist, Rebby Price. Her interview for episode 49 was all about how to silence your inner critic and become your inner cheerleader. Rebby shared how self-belief, resilience, and boundaries are game changers for creating the life we want without worrying about what others think. Her story is a reminder that we can rewrite the narrative we have been handed and become the voice we need to hear. Here's what being an unapologetic mompreneur means to her.
Okay, I think for me, it's about authenticity. And in order to be authentic, you need to have a lot of courage. And courage is a big value for me. And it is a case of being true to myself, being true to how I feel, to what I need, and communicating it effectively, whether it's with my team, whether it's with my family, whether it's with my clients, and just saying, this is how it's going to be, and this is what I need to do here. And yeah, so putting that self-care, putting that communication piece there very clearly, put boundaries are really important. And then I give really wholeheartedly, because I know that I'm giving from a great fulfilled place.
If that isn't living unapologetically, I don't know what is. When it comes to content that converts, personal branding, and organic Facebook marketing, this next guest is an absolute powerhouse. In episode 41, social media expert Heather Rose shared how she manages her business whilst looking after a son with disabilities, the power of time blocking, and how to attract your dream clients without sacrificing your authenticity or burning out in the process. And when we got to that all-important question, she could not have put it more beautifully.
Unapologetic. Oh, yes. Just what I said, really. Being unapologetic, just showing up as real, authentic you. No, like, don't have to pretend to be somebody. You don't have to see what Brenda's doing down the road and think that you've got to compete. To just keep in your own lane. Being unapologetic of me is just being Heather Rose on social media, not pretending to be anybody else, not making my business the same as what I think other people are doing out there. I just rock up and be me. I share the good, the bad, the ugly. I always have on social media, because I think it's really important to share that side of us as well. I'm not, not everybody wants to share everything. I get that. But just showing snippets of your life, hurdles that you've had to overcome when you're having a bad day. Don't be scared to show it, because people need to see that. The amount of times I get messages saying, Heather, thank you so much for sharing that. That was so relatable. I feel like that at the moment. I've had people saying, I've not quit my business because I look at all your motivational things. There's just so much. So don't be scared to show you and real life. Show what's going on behind those scenes.
You don't have to pretend to be somebody. Don't be scared to just show you and real life. If you've ever needed a dose of encouragement to just be you, that is it. Okay, last but by no means least is my guest from episode 35, certified holistic nutritionist and executive wellness coach, Laura Ulrich. This one was for every mum in business juggling it all and feeling the weight. In it, Laura broke down how to shift your relationship with stress, reclaim your energy, and find your center amidst the chaos. And our answer to what being an unapologetic mompreneur means is the perfect way to wrap up this special celebratory episode.
I love that question. By taking care of me first. On an airplane, we have to put that oxygen mask on ourselves first before we even help our child. If we can't breathe, nobody else can breathe. And so I've really incorporated and worked hard over the decades of making sure that self-care is not selfish. It is mandatory, because when mom is happy, everybody's happy, right?
Absolutely.
So thinking about what are the things in my life that fill my cup and make me want to do the things that I'm doing, and that's the end of the story. That's just it. It's for me so that I can be of service even better to my family and to my clients. And being that light and showing other women, it gives other women permission to do the same.
Wow. I mean, how incredible were those answers? Let's just take a moment to appreciate the amazing wisdom these women dropped. Every single guest has brought such truth, honesty, and heart. This isn't just inspiring, nor is this episode just a celebration. This is a movement. It's unapologetic power in action. And that's what the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast is all about. Over the past 100 episodes, we've talked about so much. From how to build a business that fits your life instead of fighting against it, to creating offers with heart, ditching the hustle culture, and setting boundaries that honor your time and your energy. From growing in confidence and building a brand that feels like you, to navigating overwhelm, stress, and guilt, while still showing up powerfully and imperfectly as the amazing you that you are every day. We've celebrated wins, talked through the messy middles, and held space for the realities of motherhood and entrepreneurship. And as we move into the next 100 episodes, I just want you to know how deeply honored I am to be on this journey with you. So tell me, what's been your favorite episode so far? And what topic would you love to hear more about in the next chapter of the podcast? Send me a DM over on Instagram at the Unapologetic Mompreneur, tag me in your stories, or leave me a review. I would love to know what has resonated most and how I can serve you even more. Here's to the next 100 episodes. Here's to you. And here is to building a business and life you love and doing so unapologetically. As always, Mama, you have got this, and I cannot wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now. Thank you so much for joining me for another installment of the Unapologetic Mompreneur podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit that subscribe button so that you never miss an episode. And if you have a moment, I would love for you to leave me a rating and a review so that other mompreneurs can find this podcast too. Here's to unapologetically becoming the mum, wife, biz owner, and woman you know you are meant and deserve to be. I can't wait to chat with you in the next episode. Bye for now.